Hi folks, HR Funk here, with a video that comes about as a result of a question that I received from a viewer after my last video. And the question was, why is it after I finish shooting a drill with a handgun, do I come back to this position close to my chest? And I've done this for years and years and years, and it never occurred to me to address this in a video. But since that person had the question, I thought some of you others out there might have the same question. So I thought I'd talk about this a little bit, and it makes a pretty good topic for a midweek video. Now, I can't tell you precisely when or where I learned this technique. I know I learned it many years ago, probably during some SWAT training or other. And the idea is when you've completed shooting and the threat either has been eliminated or it's no longer visible, meaning someone has fled, taken a different position or what have you, but there's no imminent threat, but you're not certain whether or not the threat is completely mitigated. The idea is to come back to this position so that if the threat again becomes visible, you can immediately return to your shooting position. It's a mid-step between having your arms extended and ready to fire and having your handgun back in the holster. Obviously, you can only walk around like this for so long before your arms start to become fatigued. So as you come back, you're still able to visually scan the area, and if a threat is detected, you can obviously engage whatever direction you might need to very quickly. The other thing is in this position, as opposed to a traditional low ready or the Sabrina position from the old days of Charlie's Angels, which was called the high ready back in the day, is that unlike those positions, if a threat becomes visible, you can fire at any point as you're extending your arm. So if someone is charging you and you come back here, you can actually fire from this range or this location in front of your body before you even start to extend your arms. Whereas in a typical low ready position, you can't really start to fire until you come up quite a ways with the handgun, getting close to where you would be at full extension ready to fire. So it gives you that advantage as well. Now, since I just mentioned the high ready position and the low ready position, I'll talk about them briefly, mainly to explain why it is I don't care for either one of them. First off, the high ready position, or the Sabrina position, is one that I don't know if it was ever really even employed by law enforcement officers or anyone else. It probably was back in the day. That's where it would have come from in the TV shows and movies and what have you. But this is bad for any number of reasons. If you're coming down like this, you're basically preparing to throw around into the ground if you don't manage to get your hand stopped in the right place. If you manage to fire when it's right here next to your head, that's a bad thing, not to mention you don't have any idea where that bullet's going to go. So the high ready position is really just not good, not to mention the fact it's not very quick to get your handgun on target if you don't manage to throw around into the ground. The low ready position at least is a little bit more safe, but compared to the position that I use, it feels very slow and very imprecise to me. I just don't care for it after all these years of using this position. Again, as I said, this is very quick. It comes out on target very fast, and if I need to fire anywhere as I'm bringing my arms out to full extension, I can do so. So that's why I prefer this position as opposed to the traditional low ready position, and definitely as opposed to the high ready position. Now, the other thing you might notice if you've been watching my videos for a while is the fact that I don't come back to this position with the muzzle of my pistol pointed forward or even pointing at the ground in front of me. I actually come back and I turn it sideways so the muzzle is now pointed down to this direction. This is a little bit of a modification of something called position Sul, which became popular a few years ago for police officers primarily who are working in a stack or with a group of people. And the idea is to come back so that the muzzle of your firearm is pointed basically down at the ground right in front of your feet. Again, if you need it, it's very quick to bring it back up to bear on target. I don't quite go to the true level of position Sul. I do a modification of it and come back here. It's the same idea. It's not pointed quite down directly in front of me like you would have for a true position Sul, but it's fairly close as I come back to my chest. And again, it's very quick to come back out on target if I need it and bring the handgun back to bear on a potential threat. So that's what you're seeing in the video, folks. When I come back to this position after firing a drill, it's really just become reflexive at this point. I don't even think about it. I come back here and then I either go to the holster or I come back up and fire another drill or what have you. And that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, as always, make sure you forward those to me. Remember, if you purchase anything from Optics Planet, be sure to use my discount code, which is... And if you use that discount code, it's good for 5% off anything you purchase from Optics Planet. Also remember the new discount code from Hot Munitions. If you go to Hot Munitions, you can use my discount code there, which is HRFUNK10, and that'll save you 10% off your purchase from Hot Munitions. See you next time, folks. And until then, good shooting. Bye-bye.